Now, we've already dealt with MIDI data flow to a certain extent in the Arrange window when we set up the MIDI click, if you can remember that far back. Remember, selecting the MIDI click in the track list brought up its parameters in the track parameter window at the bottom of the page here. If we now click on other tracks, we can see that the track parameter information changes slightly each time. Let's take a closer look. Let's click on track 1, our piano track, and take a look at the track parameter box for that. Now remember, I've selected the track, not the sequence data. Okay, with track 1 selected, the track parameter box looks like this. Cha, that's MIDI channel to you and me, is set to a cryptic M0-1. Prug, program change number, is set to 0. Volume is set to 127, and pan to 64. We've also got transpose, velocity, lim, and vlim. Some of these parameters appear to be duplications of what appears in the playback parameter box, but remember, we're looking at the parameters of the actual track, not the data within it. What we're specifying here are the parameters that are selected when you choose a track. But what's the point? I hear you cry. Well, have you ever had a dream that you're in a bath of custard and Demi Moore comes into the room and... sorry. Have you ever had a dream that when you play the track on your sequencer, all of the sounds are instantly set up for you automatically? No need to set a MIDI channel, volume or pan for the sound. You just choose a track and play. Well, dream no longer. Let's take our piano track as an example. Select the piano track if it's not selected already, and look at the track parameter box. Let's set a volume and a pan for the piano. Let's say 120 for the volume, and 0, which is hard left, for pan. And then don't forget, check the boxes, put that cross in there to activate them. For your information, 64, the pan settings, is center, 0 is hard left, and 127 hard right. So now, when you click on track 1, it will send the volume and pan messages to my module on MIDI channel 1. Every time I choose my piano track now, I know how it will sound, apart from one thing, the actual voice or program I'm using. This is where the prug value comes in. This is where we decide which voice we want our module to play in the particular MIDI channel we've set. Clicking and holding on the value, 0 at the moment, brings up a flip menu like this, with numbers 0 to 127. Selecting a number sends the corresponding program change number to the module to select the correct voice. If we have the box checked, then you can see the voices change on your module as you select each number. Now, using the text tool, we just click here to name that track. Call this one piano. So, there you have it. We've specified the voice, volume and pan of each track. As we select those tracks, the parameters are instantly sent out to our modules. When you load a new song where you've set up these track parameters, a quick journey to the options menu and a click on Send Used Instrument Settings sends out all of your selected parameters, instantly setting up your modules as they were before. No longer do you have to worry about which sound is set up on which track, etc. Another nice feature that actually makes your tracks and instruments far easier to sort out is the ability to assign little icons to voices. Clicking and holding here brings up a flip menu for sorted icons for things like M1, Ensoniq, ASR10, and pictures of strings, piano, and yes, even elephants. Right, set up the settings for your particular instruments you've used, the icons, the track names, and then we'll get on with the next thing. Right, all we need to do now is to be able to select tracks. Until now, we've relied upon the track list set up in our video song that was assigned to MIDI channels 1 to 16 already. Clicking and holding on the track list here brings up a flip menu of all our available instruments. Here you can see a few I created a moment ago, plus some that were already set up in our video song. So if I want to record some bass, simply choose bass, let go, and all my parameters are set up and I can play straight away. This method allows me to have any track at any position in the track list here. Track 5 could be a drum kit, etc., etc. It's interesting to point out here that, in fact, the order of the tracks here will be the order of the staves on your score page. So that's how we determine where the MIDI data is going to end up when it leaves Logic. There's a bit more to it than that, of course. Notated logic is immensely powerful when it comes to processing MIDI data, as you'll see when we take a look at the environment page, which is very closely related to the things we've just been looking at.